Parisians having a personal financial crisis, here's the place to come for a loan. The Crédit Municipal is a household name for a great many. Round back, citizens flock to put jewellery in hock, or a painting or a watch. Anything of some value will serve as collateral. 9 out of 10 of the objects will be reclaimed. The rest are put up for auction after a year has elapsed. So far, that is. Since April, trade has increased by 30%. This year's different, for this is the year that financial crisis went global. Yet the head of operations here saw Parisians begin to scramble well before the stock markets were turned on their ear. The Crédit Municipal is offering a new service now, personal microcredit of up to €3,000 a throw at 4% interest. People are using it to pay for dental care, buy a washing machine, a moped, a training course. Here's the picture.
It's a combination of things that could well last for several years. A fair number of people with money trouble are not getting help from the banks. Since they can't find solutions there, they risk being really handicapped in their work. They risk falling by the wayside unless there's this kind of individual financing.
We've arranged to meet a student at a school for radio in Paris.
L'actu en 24 minutes présentée par Marie-Angèle Tiwa et son équipe. Bonjour Marie-Angèle.
Bonjour Maxime.
A loan from the Crédit Municipal bought Marie-Angèle a year's grace. It meant she could pay her tuition fees. The reimbursement is borrower-friendly at €70 per month. Years of restaurant work for Marie-Angèle slammed to a halt with a car accident. She slipped into debt and the banks cut her off. Now she's on the dole, trying to scrape together enough to finish her journalist training.
D'un jeune homme qui voit déjà son existence comme un chemin sombre.
J'avais pensé à faire des crédits à la consommation. Le crédit à la consommation, c'est un piège.
I thought about consumer credit, but that's a trap. And then my bank would only offer a housing loan, and they don't do small personal credit. It didn't help being on their blacklist on top of that, even if it was only for €200, I think. So no one would back me, and yeah, microcredit was the only thing left for me.
Microcredit to help people out of a bind is common in economically underdeveloped countries. Now the idea is gaining ground in Europe. Here's someone nicknamed Banker of the Poor. Maria Novak founded the Association for the Right to Economic Initiative, or ADI, 20 years ago. In France, she's got more than 50,000 micro-enterprises on her books. These were set up by people who couldn't get a loan from the mainstream banks. She's convinced microcredit is a key tool in mutating economies, which will lead to more services and new technologies.
L'accompagnement
Co-funding the creation of one job costs around €2,000 on average, while paying a person unemployment benefits costs between around €13,000 and €34,000 per year, if we count indirect costs as well. Independent work can be a very important solution in crisis or breakup situations. And I've lived through that in Central Europe. I worked there during the transition period. And overnight I saw people who'd been banned from any kind of initiative become entrepreneurs. And that was really a breakthrough for the economy because it let everyone build up together an economic fabric that had been in tatters.
Qui était dans un état de désagrégation totale.
Microcredit to fight unemployment and social exclusion is the battle cry of the European Microfinance Network. The call paid off. Last year, the European Commission got to work on building a better legal and institutional framework for the creation of microenterprises.
The potential market for microcredit is 700,000 people. We mustn't forget that 99% of the companies in Europe are small and medium-sized, and that there are 78 million people living under the poverty line. Potentially, some of them would want to create a company to climb out of that.
Potentiellement, pour certaines d'entre elles, en tout cas, le désir et l'envie de créer une entreprise pour s'en sortir.
The reimbursement failure rates for microcredit are tiny. Still, European banks generally aren't interested. They will lend to organizations like ADI. France's Caisse d'Epargne is one of the banks that have set up their own microcredit plans. This bank has 3,500 microcredit clients this year. Even with conditions as they are, it says the risk is relatively low.
It doesn't make the bank much money. It pays off more at the social level because it enables people to be active, and that benefits society as a whole. In the longer run, and this is what we hope for, the customer who finds his balance lands on his financial feet again. That, in the end, might pay dividends for the bank.
This modest restaurant in Paris opened its doors a year ago. The money didn't come from a bank, it came from Adi. Mariam Magroud had dreamed of this for 20 years. When the retirement home she'd worked in changed hands, she was fired. That's when she decided to strike out on her own. Her bank wanted nothing to do with her project. It refused her a loan. She got the 10,000 from Adi on a 3-year payback plan.
Et là, c'est la salle d'en bas. Tout gratté, tout poncé.
They do take a close look at the project to see if it's realistic, and you're really encouraged to go through with things till the end. I had an advisor from Adi come by regularly to see how he's getting on. They don't just turn you loose in the wild. There's a real follow-up and constant support.
Mariam has managed to make her payments every month and hire an employee for the evenings. But it will take time before she breaks even. She can't pay herself a salary yet. She's hoping the basement space she opened up recently will pull in more diners. But she's in Clover. She grew up in the Paris slums in a family of immigrants. The Messaouda restaurant is not only a small company.
Le Messaouda, c'est le prénom de ma maman.
Messaouda is my mother's first name. It means the lucky one. I was 6 when she lost her mental abilities. She spent most of her existence in psychiatric hospitals. And I remember at the time everybody called us the children of that mad woman. That's something that stayed with me deep down. And for me, putting my mother's name up in the 9th arrondissement in Paris is a big thing. It's a little revenge on my whole past, proving there.